first guest tonight is an Emmy award-winning and Tony-nominated actor you know from The Big Bang Theory, as well as his work in The Boys in the Band, spoiler alert, and The Normal Heart. You can see him next in Titanic, which comes to Broadway Thursday, March 26th. Please welcome back to the show our friend Jim Parsons, everybody!
Goodness.
Hello, how are you?
I'm wonderful.
This is very exciting.
You know what's really exciting?
What?
I'm spending my birthday with you.
This is your birthday right now? Jim Parsons.
March 24th, yep.
Wow, happy birthday.
Thank you. I didn't know where I'd rather be.
Was
That's
there,
not true.
will you be doing anything after the fact? Will you be, or is this the peak of it?
This is the peak. We're in the thick of rehearsal.
Well, you are in the thick of it.
It's always a good omen that to be working in this industry on your birthday.
I think that's
found.
good.
You know what I mean?
Well, also, you know, I think as we get older, we like the attention less on our birthdays. So to be working kind of saves you from having to deal with that.
Yes, it makes you 10 years younger.
Yes,
yeah.
100%. Being back on the stage, do you feel younger being back on stage? You were here a year and a half ago. You were doing Our Town on Broadway. Now you're doing Titanic. I would say they're the opposite ends of the spectrum.
They're not similar, except that they're both on stage.
Yeah.
Our Town is arguably one of the best American plays ever written. And Titanic may be as well, but in a completely different way. This show, I don't know if any of you were here when it was off Broadway, but this show is absolutely the high-low, ridiculous and sublime. It is so amazing. I mean, you had them on.
We had them on. It's a retelling of the Titanic story from the perspective
of Celine Dion, who says she was on it.
Yes.
Yes.
It is in the best way, because it's a very smart show, but it's like very campy. It does not take himself seriously. Marla Mandel, who co-created it and plays Celine, is a force of nature.
Yes, she is.
And yeah, when we had him here, when it was off Broadway, it did seem like one of those very, I don't know, like native to New York shows, could only happen here. And I don't think people at the time would have thought it was going to be on Broadway, so it's amazing.
No, I don't think that any of them did either. In fact, I've talked to some of them. We have a lot of the people who were in it in the earlier iteration, and they've said that they remember when it was suddenly like going to the theater downtown in the off-Broadway, and they were like, oh, there's lines around the block. What's happening? But I'm so glad. We've been doing these rehearsals, and I keep noting it because, like, there's these moments, there's so many moments that happen that are so funny, but the only word you have where it's like, that is so stupid. And then, whiplash, immediately, somebody sings a number, and it is chilling.
Yeah.
And it's like, it makes it extra moving, because it's just, like I said, it's like this ridiculous and sublime. It's just been heaven to be in there. I am not one of the people singing where you're gonna get chills. No.
Well, now is the time to tell everybody that, of course, you're playing Rose's mother.
Ruth. Yeah. It's true. I got an email. I knew what Titanic was, but I had never seen it off Broadway. I got an email and it said, offer for Titanic Broadway. And I was like, what the hell is this gonna be? And I opened it up and I said, you've been offered the role of Ruth, Rose's mother. I was like, tell them yes, before I even read it. I was like, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I had been itching to get back into I don't even know in this day and age what we call it, a female character?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, that's okay to say?
Yeah.
I
mean, I wouldn't say it, but
no,
I'm fine with you,
okay,
putting it out there.
Throw me under a bus.
Yeah.
When I was growing up in Houston, I was a very young actor, like 19, 20, 21, and I had a friend in the department. His name was Sam Hill, and it was his real name, and is his real name, and he offered me these female roles in a few different plays by Charles Busch, who was very off-Broadway famous here. And I wasn't out at the time, and only through playing those roles did I realize what I could bring as an actor when I wasn't trying to hide the fact that I was gay.
Wow.
When I wasn't afraid of being looked at as effeminate or, again, just gay, or afraid that, like, oh, I'll never get to play straight if they know, or whatever like that. And it was kind of like seeing the world in color, where I was like, oh, I can never really go back now. Now I've got to figure out a way to do this with pants on, or whatever. But it's been 30 years since then, and I have been very curious to know what that little lady inside me is is doing now. And so we're
yeah.
slowly finding out.
That's lovely.
Yeah, it's been so fun.
And I like that also you've grown into an older, like sort of
yes,
a
I'm
grand
somebody's
dame.
mother now.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. A real bitch, too. With a heart of gold.
We're similar in age. I wonder if
Yeah.
the younger people involved in the show appreciate exactly what a phenomenon the film Titanic was. I know people still watch it. But
I know, but I don't think they do because I'm sure you feel the same way. Like when I think of the movie Titanic, like it's not just I remember watching it, it's that it was like a backdrop for an entire little part of life.
Yeah.
Like if it wasn't the movie, it was Celine Dion on the radio. It was just constant. And I don't know. I do think that there's the show's funny enough and smart enough. You don't need to know the source material. But yeah, it reminds me, it's completely different. It reminds me when I did Normal Heart on Broadway in 2011, and the beginning of the AIDS epidemic is what that's about, and all the young people coming to that had not, just hadn't been exposed to it as much. Like, I mean, those are very different shows too. So
Yeah.
this is not an apples to apples comparison I'm making.
I will say it's my kids in school, I feel like they read about, I feel like there's way more disaster books for like young readers.
That's interesting.
And it's amazing how like the amount of questions they had about Titanic before they knew about the movie or anything. And like
Is that right?
Yeah, we weren't talking about the Titanic around the house or anything.
Right.
But they had a lot of
That's so
questions about the
funny.
Titanic. Yeah.
I remember being obsessed with the Hindenburg when I was young too.
Yeah. I think so too, because I remember being bummed about the Hindenburg as a kid because I'm like, well, they're never going to do blimps again. And blimps looked fun.
It looked like a really fun way to travel
Yeah.
until it did that.
And it's amazing. It was just the one blimp, and they're like, we're not going
We're
to do
not
blimps.
doing it again.
Yeah.
But ships stayed.
Yeah, ships.
You
They were
can
like,
still
we're going
get
to keep
on.
doing ships. And they were like, and the Hindenburg people were like, hello. And they're like, we're not going to do it. A lot less has to go wrong
Yeah.
for a Hindenburg.
That's true.
Yeah. Last time we talked about returning to Broadway.
Yeah.
It's a grueling schedule. That your husband had a bit of a never again. I think out of empathy for you and
But no, that's not why.
great.
This is because he's stuck with the dogs, and he really gets the end of the schedule when you're on Broadway because I'm there late, so he
Yeah.
gets the last walk of the day with the dogs, and then I sleep later than him because I have been on stage, and so he gets the first walk of the day
Yeah.
with the dog. I just think enough is enough in his opinion.
Yeah.
But I guess once rehearsals are over, it gets a little better. I have daytimes I can run errands and things like that.
It's a 16-week run.
16-week run.
Now, is he someone who's like sort of circling, putting an X on each day, waiting till the end? And does he fear?
I get that impression. Last night we were at dinner and something came up. I was like, what if it's really successful? What if they wanted to extend and they asked me to do it? I was really considering. It's like, we'll talk in July. I was like, oh, okay.
Well, I can't wait to see it. Congrats
Thank
in
you.
advance.
I thank you.
Break a
very much.
leg on opening night. You guys, that's Jim Parsons. Titanic opens on Broadway for a 16-week run Thursday, March 26th.